who do you think's going to fly out of the traps next season? Who do you think's going to really just bang? Aside from City, because City do it every season, who else do you think?
Who do we think can be the Arsenal of this year?
Yes, that's a good way of phrasing it. Yeah, who can be the Arsenal of this year?
I really, really want to be
Liverpool.
able to say that...
Liverpool.
The answer is Liverpool.
Yeah,
Just
Liverpool.
To be clear, the answer is
Liverpool's the answer.
There is a little
I'm
bit
so
of
childish in my Liverpool.
No, but it obviously is Liverpool.
It is, isn't it?
Because the second half of the season they've had, there will be some more investment this summer. Some of those players are still bedding in and learning this league. I think Núñez is going to be better next year.
Yeah.
I honestly...
I like Gakpo, you know. I like Gakpo. I can see what Arsenal were looking at him. Every time I watch him, it just reminds me of an Arsenal player. I like Gakpo. I think he's going to be decent.
I find him a little wasteful. I can find him frustrating in the final third.
All of them
I don't
are.
think there's a bad player there.
No.
I think if Liverpool invest in their midfield, they can challenge for the title next season and do it from the off.
I think if Liverpool get a right back, we've got a chance. And move Trent into midfield.
Ooh,
I'm telling you now, Pirlo-esque, you know, just let him just dictate and start spraying balls. Or I'm going to, again, for our American listeners, a quarterback. Just be that quarterback and do everything.
Look, we talked about this earlier in the show. This is a summer where there is some time.
Yes.
There hasn't been one of those in a long time. Maybe you use that tactically as Jurgen Klopp to try and bring a new system in and do something different. I still think you need another midfielder, even if you buy...
I agree. Maybe a couple. I think now that we've got rid of midfielders, Milner, Keita and Ox, there's now free spaces. So that hopefully means...
Mount. not inspiring you?
I mean, I see Arsenal going Declan Rice. Why don't we compete with Arsenal for Declan Rice?
I understand why...
We were Jude Bellingham for 5 months, and now you're telling me McAllister, and I'm supposed to get excited about McAllister when we were Jude Bellingham for 5 months.
Mate, it's exactly what I was going to say. They kept saying, the level we are as a club, it does better for us to buy 2 players at 55 million than it does for us to buy 1 guy for 160. Disagree. Yeah. Jude Bellingham is, for me...
He's 2 guys.
As long as he doesn't get injured, at which point I look silly, that's the change. But... they are the right answer. I still think United are the one that could be interesting if they get their affairs in order early enough. If they get the sale done, invest, give Ten Hag some money and some time, they could be one who could have a quick impact next season. I just don't think any of those things are going to happen. I think we're going to get to mid-July. Harry Kane's still going to be in North London. The takeover's still dragging out. They haven't bought a player yet. United fans are calling into...
Maguire's still at the club.
Pulling their hair out. Maguire's still there. I think all of that's going to happen. And so, I'm not so sure.
You know who I'd like to see keep their players and have a good start to the season? Brighton.
Yeah.
I love what De Zerbi's done, and I hope they don't just be... I hope everyone doesn't go there and start nicking players, Caicedo, McAllister, etc. I hope they can keep them. I don't think they will.
They've replaced players.
Yeah, they'll find someone else.
It's unbelievable the way that they just find these talents, and just their scouting network must be insane.
It's incredible.
Potter, it must be said, Potter has a lot to do with that. As much as he had a rough time at Chelsea, I think he's still so much of why.
I think he's been exposed a little bit. I think he's been exposed. They were the kings of XG under Potter. Couldn't score a goal, and everyone's like they're overachieving. De Zerbi gets them to 7th.
Yeah, I don't think. No, from a coaching perspective, you're absolutely right. I think from an investment, a youth perspective, a talent perspective, a scouting perspective, Potter found all those players and brought them in. And hopefully De Zerbi can continue to do the same, because they have just been able to... Everyone that comes in, there's just a replacement.
It's incredible, isn't it? Honestly, it's players that I... Look, what are you even doing on talkSPORT? It's players I didn't even know. Some of these players, I'm like, who are these players? How have I got a job here? I don't even know these players, but honestly, I don't. Flops next season. We spoke positively. Let's go a bit negative now. Who do you think's going to flop next season? Player or team or manager? Richarlison was awful, wasn't he? That's a flop.
Yeah, he really was. I think team-wise, but either the team that comes up from the playoffs this weekend, it's a great fairy tale story. They've come from League 2 and non-league. They got promoted from League 2 the same year in 2018. They're vying for a Premier League spot. Neither of them been in the top division for 20 years. All of that is great. I just look at the infrastructure at those clubs and go...
You're in trouble.
But I think that their fans will come up. They'll get 15 to 20 points.
Coventry don't even have their own stadium. You're coming up to the Premier League, you don't even have your own official stadium. It's not yours.
Have you seen the away end at Luton, by the way?
Oh, of course I have.
I've been to that away end.
Have you, yeah?
It is bizarre when you walk up a terrace street and suddenly there's just a sign and you enter and you're walking above people's gardens to get in there.
obviously, look, Burnley, fantastic under Vincent Kompany, but even them, I mean, it's a lot of championship players. Unless they invest, Burnley don't invest, unless they give them some money, still Burnley.
I fancy Burnley to
be like a Brentford?
Yeah, I
like Fulham, like.
10. I'm going to go top 12, top 10, not vying with relegation.
Do you 100% think they keep him? Do you think they keep him?
I think for this season they do.
Yeah.
I think he seems pretty committed to it. But I don't think they keep him for long after. If he comes up and does that,
there's going to be a few managerial vacancies that no one's talking about. Like Roy Hodgson's not going to stay at Palace. There's going to be a few.
Oh, we have had more interim managers this season than any other season in Premier League history by a country mile. So the other ones I look at, I really worry about Tottenham depending on who they appoint. I know they've already flopped down to 8.
Worry in what? Don't make top 10.
Yeah, I mean, really like.
I mean, imagine if they lose Harry Kane. Yeah, then big problem.
Aston Villa's second half of the season under Unai Emery has been hugely impressive.
Yeah,
but I'm still yet to see him do a long-term job in the league at a club. He's clearly a great cup manager. We've seen that before.
Good shout.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got dragged back into the mire again next year.
I worry for Brentford without Ivan Toney.
Honestly, there's a whole glut of clubs as well. Bournemouth, Forest, whoever stays up of the 3 that are vying for it this weekend, all of whom with a bad summer could be in real trouble next year. So, yeah, I think it's a fascinating league next season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.